In this video, I'm going to show you how to trace out the pattern I provided using a lined piece of paper, a ruler, and a pen or pencil. Begin with a lined piece of paper. Turn it upside down so the header is at the bottom facing you. We'll want to use the vertical red line as well as the bottom horizontal line where the two intersect. If you draw a point, this will be a reference point for us. From the reference point, you'll want to measure 4 inches and 3/4. I've measured the 4 inches and 3/4. I'm going to make a mark at 0. This mark that I make here will be our dot number 1. So you'll want to make a mark at the 3 inches and 1/4 line, and this will be our dot number 2. I've just measured those 2 dots. I'm going to make them easier to see. So this will be dot number 1 and dot number 2. And we'll connect these 2 dots to create the bottom line. Starting at the reference point, you'll measure 4 inches and 1/16 approximately, which will bring you to this blue line. Make a mark. This will be our dot number 3. So we've got dot number 1, number 2, and this is now number 3. We're going to connect dot number 2 to number 3 with our ruler. So we've just connected dot number 2 to number 3. Next, going to dot number 1, using your ruler, you're going to measure 1 1/4 inch to the left and make a little X. Next, using the X that you've just drawn, 1 1/4 inch away from dot number 1, you're going to draw a straight vertical line that is 5 inches and 1/8. And at the end here, we're going to mark a dot, and this dot will become dot number 4. So now we're going to draw a series of smaller marks in order for us to create the curved line that'll connect from dot number 4 down to dot number 1. And we've measured 1 1/4 inch distance. We're going to go up 3 blue lines, so 1, 2, 3. And from the line we just drew over here, we're going to make a little X that is 1 1/4 inch away. Just like that. And then we're going to go up 3 more lines, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to measure 1 inch away. And at the 1 inch mark, make an X. From the X that we just made, we're going to go up 6 more lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to measure 1/2 inch away from the line. And from there, we'll mark another X. Guessed it, we're going to connect number 4 to the X's all the way down to dot number 1. Now we're going to work on the top half, the curved line. From dot 4, following along the blue line, mark an X 1/2 inch away. Then you'll want to hop up to the blue line just above and mark another little X. We've gone 1/2 inch to the right of dot number 4, and then we've hopped up to the blue line here. Now we're going to measure 2 inches to the right, and we're going to mark an X. Here's 2 inches, and again just above we'll mark another X. Going back to the X just above the 2 inch mark, we'll use that as a reference point. We're going to measure 1 1/2 inches to the right of this mark. Make a little X. From this new point that we've drawn, measure to the right 1 inch, make a little X, and then hop down just below it to the next blue line and make an X. Here we should have a series of little X's. Connect a line from dot number 4 to the X that's a line above. Going 2 inches to the right, we have 2 X's. You'll want to connect to this top X. Connect this X to the next one. And here we've got 2. You'll want to connect to the one that's below. So we're almost done. Now we just have to connect this mark to the dot number 3. And that should be it. I'm just going to draw that a little bit so it's easier to see. We've now traced out the main shape. Good tip, if you're creating the face mask using a rubber band, you'll want to extend the bottom part here following the dotted yellow line that you see in the pattern. The reason for this is we want to create a little bit more length, as this is the part that will reach your ears. You can even extend this further if you want to have more fabric closer to your ears. The last step is to trace out a 3.5 inch by 1 inch rectangle that you'll use for the rubber band or elastic cord coverings. A 3.5 inch long rectangle that is 1 inch tall. And there you have it. You have your completed pattern traced out. Another tip I have for tracing out this pattern, you can even just count the blue lines and mark out some of the dots that way. So for example, dot number 3 is 1, 2, 3, 12. So 12 lines up where the red and blue line meet, that's where dot number 3 is. And then up here, this blue line is 1, 2, 3 lines up from there. So you could draw dot number 3, go up 3 lines, go across, and then about 1 inch away, draw dot number 4, and so on. Hoping that by using a lined piece of paper, it makes it easier to transfer the pattern onto a sheet that you have at home. I've included some dotted colored lines that are inside the pattern for slightly smaller sizes. So you can see it's about 1/4 of an inch inside, following along the pattern like so. I do have a tip though, if you're not sure about the sizing. Before you actually start cutting out your fabric, you can trace this out onto some Kleenex or tissue paper, and what you can do is cut 2 of these out. So here I'm just going to roughly trace it out. Taped it here, here, and here. So now what I can do is open it up like a book. It doesn't look like much, but this will be the finished shape of the face mask, and you can actually hold this up onto your face just to get a rough idea of the size. So you can check to see it. This is the bottom where the chin would go, so you can see if it tucks under the chin, if it's up on the bridge of the nose, and then you'll want to see if the ends are close to your ear. Of course, during the pattern, this will get folded in a few times, so it won't be quite as long as you see here. It's an easy way to size up the mask to see if it fits, if it's too big, too small, before you cut your fabric.